Hello everybody, this is the Threesome movie 2025, and this movie actually just came out of nowhere because I didn't expect it, and I didn't know that this movie isn't was even gonna be released. But we have it now, and let's talk about the main characters. Basically, the main character Connor and his longtime crush Olivia, they ran into each other at this wedding of their mutual friend. And basically, Olivia was already finishing her dinner because she basically was forced to leave this wedding early due to her work. And basically, Connor was trying to kind of, spend that wedding with Olivia specifically because they had some relationship, and that happened long ago when they were working together, because Olivia is his former lover and his ex co-worker, but now Olivia, she is working actually as a waitress, and she is working at the same place that Connor's friend, at whose wedding they were working as well, and he is a bartender, his name Greg. So basically, Olivia is that type of woman, quick-witted. She's throwing jokes and not wasting time to poke Connor every time she meets him. And basically, her humor is something really, I would say, good, because this movie specifically focusing on comedy and mixing it with a lot of drama. So rom-com genre is, dominating right now. And basically, Connor's friend Greg, bartender, noticed this woman who was stood up, and basically her boyfriend or whoever just didn't show up, and he was left out. And basically Connor had an idea that he can approach this woman and basically compensate this whole Olivia thing and her basically ignoring him, and to show Olivia that another woman can potentially notice him and to make you a little bit jealous. And this is actually working because Olivia noticed that Connor now is so busy with that stranger, and at the same time, Olivia ran into her lover, secret lover, who is a married man. And basically the situation is just on one hand, she has this lover with his wife, and they just came here to eat, but this situation is just pisses her off because, that man just definitely came to, tease her and to be around her, but she basically chooses Connor and this stranger because the situation is just, more basically comfortable, because she doesn't have any bonds, any serious relationship with Connor, and they had once something, intimate, so this is not serious. And she immediately basically tried to make this stranger Jenny comfortable, and Olivia is actually good at making people comfortable because her personality is something like she can basically make you feel like at home immediately. And by telling her something sensitive, something personal about her encounter, she immediately just made it obvious that they can potentially just hang out, the three of them, and just go somewhere. And this is exactly what happened, because shortly after, the three of them went to a club, and during that basically night happened a lot of, conversations and dances and stuff. But the most important part, of course, happened after this club, because they went to to Corners. They went to basically drink and just talk, But all the signs, all the gestures, all the situation, the whole situation just telling that this stranger Jenny is now so open to something new, but not only because she was left out by her, partner who didn't show up, but because she feels like these two people, they actually some people she was missing so long. Because she made a good point of how people you are hanging out with making you define the type of person you are, and the people you surrounded by actually just making you a different person. And if she had people like this, like Olivia or Connor, she would have become probably a different person. But it doesn't mean that she would become a better version of herself. Quite the opposite, because Olivia and Connor, basically, they are a bad influence. They are not making Jenny's situation any better. They just kind of trying to, replace that boyfriend who didn't show up. And basically Jenny is overcompensating, because this is not who she is. For Connor and Olivia, this situation is quite familiar. They know how to get advantage of situation like this. So they hooked up, basically, and they started to play truth or dare game. And once this game just became just a way to hide their true intentions, once Jenny realized that there is just no game, and the whole just pretending that they are playing is just a way to get closer to each other. So this is obviously gonna happen, and this is why this movie called The Threesome. But this is not focusing only on that aspect of this, because the whole situation, this triangle, is not only physically but emotionally setting next events of this movie, And after that night, basically Connor woke up and noticed that basically Jenny feels uncomfortable, and this awkwardness basically just loomed, and he was trying to basically do something about that. And to address that awkwardness, he offered basically a tea or shower. But it was really surprising that Jenny basically told him the tea can wait, but the water from the shower needs to be saved. In the other words, there is enough space in that shower to go together. Oh, they just went to the shower and took it together. This is what happened. And he even took a tea to that shower, but that happened without Olivia's participation. So right now, this triangle is not even a triangle anymore. And this situation directly, directly making next events what they are gonna be, because after that basically morning, Connor went to this, this place where Olivia was already taking a breakfast, and basically she on purpose left early to, not make that situation even more awkward, because if the three of them just waking up in the same bed, it's just definitely more, weird situation or awkward to be in. And Connor actually asked Olivia for a date, but only the two of them, no triangle, no Jenny, nobody else. And this time he wants actually just to get another chance with her, because they have had some affair, they had some situation, but it wasn't really anything serious. But now he considers her as potentially his partner. But this date basically turned into them babysitting Olivia's sister's children. So they were asked, or Olivia specifically, she was asked to babysit them. And she just basically found out that any situation when she is with Connor turning into, pure comedy, because they both have pretty good sense of humor, and with Olivia's, addition, this couple makes just perfect mix. This just mix of humor, quick-witted jokes, everything just sounds on point, whatever they say, it sounds pretty on point and so spot on. I'm just really enjoying the interaction between these two. And they went on multiple dates actually after that night. They really just, they are together right now. But something happened at some point. Basically, Olivia, she forgot to take the morning pill or preventative pill or whatever. She forgot to take that pill, but she was basically taking daily. And she was basically taking every single day, but now like she realized that she can be pregnant, potentially she can conceive, and they realized that they don't want to basically take another pill and they want to keep that baby. But this is not as simple as it sounds, because Janie showed up claiming that she has a baby from Connor as well. And that happened exactly after that morning they spent together without Olivia. And when Olivia found out that basically they were together behind her back, but she left them. She cannot really blame them because she left them that morning. So anything could have happened, and this is what happened. So she basically left Connor because she pissed off of him now having two babies from two different women, and one of them is complete stranger. But his reaction, his calm reaction, and overall he seems to be pretty rational, reasonable, and she's trying to basically solve any situation, regardless how bad it is. But Olivia went to her secret lover, the man who basically showed up at her work with his wife, and she found this way as kind of not only, to get the situation out of her head, but kind of to take another chance with another man, because now she really mad at Connor because of those babies from different women. And of course, the situation for Connor and Jenny seems to be a little bit less tense, because they actually talking about how they can potentially just get past this and not being so mad about it. And Jenny decided to keep her baby too, but Olivia, she is already going to another state, because in that state she is living in, there is no abortion possible. The laws just prohibit you from doing that. So she's going to another state with Connor together. And while they were coming to that state, something really has changed in her mind. She actually now, she's doubting that she wanna do that abortion, and she wanna basically take another day to think about it. And while they were really together, she realized that probably she potentially she can save that baby, but she's not so ready to be with Connor again, to raise that baby and to be a family. So she is changing her mood, changing her decision every 5 minutes. Now she's going to do that abortion, and the other minute, 5 minutes later, she's not going to do that abortion. And this is pretty much that confusion caused by her not being able to decide whether she really wants to get back with him and ignore the situation that he has another baby from a woman they both were together. And it's not so easy to ignore that fact, since basically other people would think that she was so desperate by taking Connor back despite him having another baby from another woman. So in her situation, like, she thinks about what people that know that fact, that she's so easily forgiving him. This is something really, bothering her. But Connor is trying to basically help both Jenny and Olivia, and he even brought his friend to make the situation a little bit, less tense, because his friend is another person who is making any, problem, any situation less serious because of his humor and stuff. And together they went basically to Jenny's procedure, and it turns out that Olivia was at the same place, and she has the same doctor, who is doing that procedure. And they start fighting, but shortly after they realize that they can potentially just stop fighting and help each other, because they have babies from the same man, but Janie seems less aggressive in this situation and more friendly towards Olivia. She wants really just make this situation less complicated. And Connor is just taking every situation and trying to basically find a way out of it. And she going to every procedure, whether it's Olivia or Jenny, and she's just there for both of them. And his friend is kind of also a part of this. And basically this movie doesn't have a lot of characters, but every character, like this friend of Connor's, or just any other supportive character, kind of adding some vibe into this movie. But the main part of this movie is still this triangle: Olivia, Connor, and Jenny. So there is no too much a part of this threesome, but this movie doesn't even need any other character involved, because the whole situation between the three of them is just making it so intense, and sometimes it's slowing down, and some moments they are pretty, they are just, dramatic, but some parts just really sad, but mostly this movie is just three different stories about three different periods. And from that first night to the conception of the babies, and then the other stage of giving the birth to the babies. And the final stage is when they realize that, I'm not going to jump right there, because this is gonna be the final. But now Olivia is just seeking Connor back, because she realized that she doesn't really want to be a single mom. And despite the fact that Connor is with Jenny and they are pretending a couple, they're pretending to be a couple because she wanted to look like she didn't just get knocked up by a random dude, and she wanted to make it look like they are gonna be a family, and to show her parents that Connor is a good man, and it didn't happen as a result of that threesome, but it was just exclusively for this couple. And they didn't tell about another person involved, and that Connor has another baby from that person. And that would basically ruin the moment for her parents. So she pretended as everything is just normal. And at some point, she was going to reveal to her parents that they are not who they told they were, because Connor thinks that at some point Jenny was going to basically tell the truth to her parents, and this whole pretending is going to be, over. But Olivia actually, as more experienced in dating a married man, she knows how it works, that lying, when you constantly telling your secret lover, when you're constantly just promising that you are going to break up with your wife, you are going to get divorced, and you are going to do that at some point, but you will never do that. And she knows that this is just lying that allows them to easily get together, but like the more it's lasting, the more the easiest for them to get together. I mean, for Connor and Janie, this situation is just as a trap. They want to just reveal all the truth and stop pretending to be a couple. But at the same time, Janie wants this situation to last a little bit longer, because she wants to basically show her parents and to feel that she has someone. So for her basically to keep Connor as long as possible is for the better, but for Connor it's not good, because basically the more he is trying to pretend, the more he feels something for her, and he is going to feel something for Jenny eventually. But Olivia basically wants Connor back because she sees him as a future father, a future dad for this baby. But this dude, Kevin, Olivia's secret lover, a married man, appeared, and he was shocked that Olivia kept this baby and that she is pregnant. But the main reason why he was so pissed off, because he told Olivia that he was sterile, basically that he cannot make any woman pregnant. But he lied about that, and now it's just obvious that the real father of this baby is not Connor. This is this dude, Kevin. And this situation is even more fucked up, because now this is the time she needs to give the birth to that baby, but she already knows that Connor is not even the real father, biological father. He is not even aware of that. But Jenny came to the same clinic to give the birth to her baby, and they ran into each other once again. But this time Connor was basically caught off guard because he didn't expect Jenny come to the same clinic the same day to give the birth to your baby, the same day that Olivia is going to do. And eventually Jenny revealed that both women, Jenny herself and Olivia, they are having the babies from the same man, Connor, which of course pissed off her parents, and her basically parents went crazy and beat Connor a little bit. But the situation got worse after Olivia told Connor that he is not even a father of this baby. He is not even a biological father. And the whole pretending, the whole situation would have been just not even necessary if he knew basically that he wasn't a biological father. He could have basically pursued Jenny instead of pretending to be her boyfriend. He could have been really her boyfriend, and he could have basically, he could have been her full-time partner, being around her and just waiting for that baby. But instead of that, nothing good happened. Nothing really, happened with Jenny and Connor, because at this point they cannot be together no more, because there's just no way, after all the lying and after he found out that basically the only baby he has right now is that Jenny's baby, not this Olivia's, because Olivia's baby is just from the other man whom she doesn't even love, with whom she doesn't even want to be. And now at this point, the only way out of this is for Connor and Olivia to be together. But at this point, a lot of time just wasted, and a lot of emotions just, wasted for no reason, because the whole situation could have just gone in completely different direction should Connor know that he was the father of Jenny's baby, not of this baby of Olivia. And he could have just dedicated this whole time to Jenny instead of this triangle, So nothing bad really happened if we talking about this threesome and how it complicated their lives. It didn't, basically, because the only baby as the result of that threesome is Olivia's. And it's not even after that threesome, because this baby was conceived while they were basically going on multiple dates after that threesome. After that night, basically Olivia and Connor went on so many dates, and during those relationship, during those days, this baby was conceived. So the threesome itself wasn't really the reason of any of these problems, but at the beginning you're just thinking that this is the reason, because they were the three of them that night, and next morning Jenny and Connor, they basically slept again, and Jenny's baby supposed to be the result of that morning, but her baby was a result of that morning. That was right. But Olivia's baby was the whole different case, not even related to neither Jenny nor Connor. So after this movie, you just, you would basically think that the situation like this could never happen in real life, because in real life something like this basically would never happen due to multiple factors, from how in real life situations between like three people often resolved like without even participation of third party. Basically when someone just found out that he has, two different babies from two different people, I think that in real life that person would just decide to, choose the side and decide which side that person is gonna be, and not going to help both. I mean, this is what's happening in real life, and it's just more simple. And in this movie is a little bit complicated because of the, the characters and the story itself is just needs to be like this to make this movie really interesting. But I still think that it's a little bit exaggerated. And a lot of situations like this, they happen, but just this is a little bit romanticized, since this is, rom-com movie. It needs to be both funny and at the same time it needs to be, a lot of drama and something like this. So see you next time with another movie or TV show. But that was the Threesome movie from 2025 October, and if you like it, you can, drop your comment and tell me what you think about this movie, because I didn't really expect this movie, but after I watched it, I don't really regret it, because this movie actually just saved my day, because it actually makes you feel, complete after, like, at the end of the day, you like need some movie that is just so real and touching, because this movie both simple and complex at the same time. The comedy aspect of this movie makes you just laugh, and at the same time the drama is strong, and the moments like at the beginning when they were the three of them, and when that happened, it making you realize just that the movie itself was called The Threesome just because of this single situation, but it's not gonna be another movie that is only focusing on that. This is something bigger, and the whole situation with making decisions of with whom you're gonna be, with whom you're gonna raise your baby, how you're gonna be raising it, as a single parent or together with the person that that already has another, let's say, family. So the whole complicated situation feels real, at the same time a little bit romanticized, but the movie itself was just a good, entertainment for me. So thank you for watching, and I see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.